those who can't stop discovering.
Need to go back to representing their constituents rather than desperately trying to become social media influencers. Well, the weird thing is, desperately trying to become social media influencers. Well, the weird thing is, she was probably just reporting on a report. Not that I want to make like an excuse for her. She was probably just reporting on, this wasn't her fault. She never said that word. She said she clarified it immediately. Members of Congress should not be blasting this stuff out on national TV if they have no evidence of it being true. She didn't even pick up the phone to call ODNI to see if it was true. ODNI had to come up publicly to deny it. People think she got it from somewhere. She said, quote, "We were notified." Who's we and who notified them? That is a good question. Could it have been an effort to discredit her? That is certainly someone just, passes a fake note to discredit Anna Paulina Luna, that kind of stuff. Luna has not yet clarified who told her. Hopefully we'll get some answers. I just regret very anti-deep state insiders prior to running the story. It's very weird that Luna would intentionally pass along false information. Nick writes, she has so much potential. This type of stuff just can't continue. I still believe Anna Paulina Luna is one of the best members of Congress we have. She just needs a guardrail or two. I have a feeling she was probably told. I mean, it's still trending right now, the CIA. I have a feeling she was probably told. And Anna Paulina Luna, as far as I know, let's see if she has actually corrected any of this. And Anna Paulina Luna, as far as I know, let's see if she has actually corrected any of this. Let's see. Given the nature of the docs in question, we're sending a preservation notice. Thank you, Nicki Minaj from 15 minutes ago. Preservation notice. Nicki Minaj, okay. Gangs back together. 15 minutes ago. Gas and diesel prices. Nicki Minaj. Okay. Gangs back together. No. This is my problem with politicians. Right. This is my problem with politicians. This is my problem with politicians. Nowhere on her feed does she say it didn't happen. Her last tweet, which has not been community noted, the CIA has 24 hours to return the documents. Then she wrote, someone at the CIA is actively undermining an executive order at CIA. I suggest you figure out who it is and quick. So she went from saying the CIA has 100% raided Tulsi Gabbard's office to thanking Nicki Minaj. Has 100% raided Tulsi Gabbard. Thanking Nicki Minaj. This is the problem. Like, then 14 hours ago, she also talked about this is the problem. Like, more. Her pinned tweet is still about the FBI or CIA raid. So did the CIA raid? Tweet is still about the FBI. I don't know. To me, they sure came out and debunked it fast enough. But then it's like when it's the CIA. I don't know, but you see Jesse Waters has deleted his post according to this, accusing the CIA of raiding DNI. I don't know. Gabbard's team has also denied those claims immediately after the post started going viral yesterday. The original post received 2.6 million views. Waters has also not yet posted a statement. The original post received 2.6 million views. It's odd to me that no one apologized and no one clarified it. It's fine to get stuff wrong. It's definitely fine to get stuff wrong. It's weird to me that nobody's like, well, I guess we got some bad information, then just move on and go thank Nicki Minaj. You could do that. It says Tulsi Gabbard has spoken out. The CIA did not raid my office. The director of national intelligence spokesperson took to X to deny reports claiming the CIA had raided Director Tulsi Gabbard's office, saying plainly, this is false. The CIA did not raid the DNI's office. Now, did people believe that? I don't know. You see Mike Lee. It's immaterial whether those documents were in her personal office. If those documents were taken away from her custody by the CIA as she was preparing to declassify them, that's a problem. So people are saying, okay, you didn't raid it, but did you go there and act nicely? Did you go there and ask nicely for the items? Is that possibly what it is? You showed up and nicely asked for them. I don't know if this is as much of a hoax as maybe people are thinking. You know? Oh, here she did clarify. Clarification. This is to correct Anna Paulina. Clarification. Took documents that ODNI has jurisdiction over. Also, this did not happen today, and it was not a raid. However, it did take place, and we are just being made aware of it based on reporting. So was there a raid? No. Did they take documents? Well, that's the question. And you notice she wrote that they took documents. She did correct it and say it wasn't a raid. They had taken documents. Okay. Here, all they denied was that they did not raid the office. So it's possible that, like, maybe they really did take the documents, but they just didn't take them via a raid. It's all like a semantics game, right? We're going to say it this way or that way, in a specific way, shape, or form. That way we can protect ourselves. I would not be surprised if they didn't take documents that were supposed to be declassified. And they just didn't take them in a raid form, and they didn't take them in like that exact moment. Like it is very, very, very odd to me. I guess you'll have to let me know. You think they took documents? You think they didn't take documents? Did Anna Paulina Luna just need to make some X revenue? That seems unlikely. But I would not be surprised if documents, what they did, I would want to see Olivia Coleman come out and answer the question if any documents were taken at any point from her. That's the question. They say they didn't raid the office, but did you take documents back from her? It's very, very interesting. We'll have to see how this shakes out, or if it just blows over like most things. Let's see. Okay. Just getting these ready. How's everybody's morning? Olivia Coleman, isn't she an actress? I don't know. I don't know who. It sounds like an actress's name. It sounds like it could be an actress. Yes, there is still an afternoon show. Right now, it's just seeing about establishing different times. We'll see what the appetite for people is at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then we'll see what the appetite of people, probably, I haven't really decided yet. What the most likely solution, what the most likely outcome of this is that we stay at 2 Eastern. That's probably, that's the most likely outcome here, is that we just stay at 2 Eastern. But I don't know. What I want to do is see if maybe we have we've been at the 2 Eastern time slot for a long time. And I want to try a morning time slot, which works better with my life, getting to cover the news early right away. Covering it later in the day means at least you'd have like newer stuff. We'd have newer news, like the afternoon news cycle to cover it. The problem with the 2 Eastern time slot, as I've talked about before, is that ultimately you end up with a crazy amount of repetitive news. So Vince has covered it. Steven's covered it. Dan Bongino's covered it. That other chick who works for Dan has covered it. Tim's stand-in guy has covered it. Devori has covered it. Then we're up, you know? And so I'd rather, you know, even if it's, you know, it's easier, it's more exciting to be covering news in the morning as it's breaking, as opposed to having seen everybody else on Rumble cover it and then be that guy who covers it. You know what I mean? That's the issue. Does that make sense? So I don't think my input matters. No. Some people like my input, some people don't. But I don't like talking about it so much, you know, so much later than everybody else. I have not covered the China meeting yet. Do night shows 8 p.m. Eastern. Well, that's the other one. The other time slot was leading into Tim. You know, Elon was making Chinese faces at Xi Jinping. No, that's not true. Leading into Crowder is great too. Nice alternative Bongino. Yeah, I actually think leading into Crowder, the thing is, like, the streams will be smaller in the new time slots because I haven't done like an official announcement of a time change. But I want to make sure it's a time slot that I like, that I can work with, that my co-host can still make. You know, are you nervous to be stepping on the other creator shows? No. What does Dan Bongino, who gets like 50K live viewers, care about my 1,400, maybe 2, 3, 4,000 after I fully move, you know? It's just nicer to talk about the news from the night before in the morning before everyone on the planet has already seen the news. You know what I mean? It's not like Dan Bongino has everybody on the world who wants to watch him, you know? So I think I could reestablish my spot this early. And what I like about the morning time slot is, like, for family reasons, you know, like for family reasons, I can get my show done. Then I can do like the bookkeeping and all the other stuff that has to be done with the show. And, you know, be able to handle what needs to get done around the house. Before it gets too late, you know, in the day. A raid would be legal. Yeah. Olivia Colman is an actress. Oh, okay. Oh, my chat was stuck. Put a family above work. I'm trying to. And, you know, it gives me time to get my fat ass on the treadmill in the afternoon, all this kind of stuff. So it's just a better time slot if I can. I've been trying to go to bed earlier, like all week long. I go into bed at like 8 o'clock and I just lay there wide awake because I know I need to probably get to bed by, be asleep by 10 so that I can be up at 6 so I can do my morning routine, come down here and still have an hour to prepare for the show. That's the goal. We're getting closer and closer every day. How many steps are we getting in now? About 7,000. It's not, but it's every day for a week now. It's nothing to write home about. Yeah, nothing to write home about. I can't go to sleep early. I need to be asleep by 12:30 to wake up for 5. Yeah, I think, for me, I'll get there. I just got to get into the groove. So what was it? Yesterday I was an hour late. Today I was 5 minutes. Well, actually, what was it? Monday I was like 2 hours late. Tuesday I was like an hour late, but that wasn't my fault. The internet was down. Check that. Tuesday I was like 10 o'clock. Wednesday the internet was down. That wasn't my fault. I was awake. And then today it was only 5 minutes. But I really wasn't up early enough because I didn't have everything prepared for the show. When news is slow, why not do video game news? I recall you doing something like that years ago. Rumble has 1,000,001 political takes. Yeah, you're 1,000% right. That's what I'm going to try to do with Melanie in our 2 o'clock time slot. On days when Melanie's on, on days that Melanie's on, that's what I want to do. There isn't a ton of video game news, but there's at least literally anything but politics. You know what I mean? There's something other than politics, which Rumble needs desperately. You need to do an I don't know what kind of stream that is. I hope Melanie is on today. She is on today. Yep. Melanie will be on today. Melanie remains on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you're in chat, make sure to leave a like on the stream. I don't think it really matters in terms of rating or in rankings or anything like that, but it's always nice. It's nice to see, by the way, today, 9 a.m., like our first time, actually 9 a.m. Eastern. It's not even 9 a.m. for me yet. Our first time in a brand new time slot to have 1,500 people. That's great. If it works, I announce it. I think we'll get back up to 3,000 or 4,000. I also went Rumble exclusive. I haven't told the YouTube and other platform viewers yet, but when I do, that should bring another pile of people over. So I like all that. There's any palatable alternative at the 9 a.m. Oh, Salty Army. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. It's nice to have something balance out the downvote brigade. Yeah, give a like to the stream. Yeah, it's all good. It doesn't hurt the show, but, it does make them cry. All right, let's get back on the news, huh? Pretty big story happened last night. I love watching all your streams and shorts. Unsure why anyone wants to hate on you. As far as I'm concerned, it's irrelevant. Thanks for all you do. Every bit of work is appreciated. Hey, thank you. And your Rumble rants definitely go a long way. So I appreciate your support and your kind words. I think I missed ones that weren't trolls. Vaslid says, morning, Jeremy. How are the news articles this morning? Looking forward to the show. Already left a like. Appreciate you. The news articles are news articling. And Icy, hey, Icy, You asked the other day about being muted or something in the chat. I could not find your username as muted, and here I see you ranting. So somebody must have got it fixed for you. Loving the morning show idea. Monetize the haters. Good luck. That's okay. There'll always be haters. It's fine. Everything's fine. The only thing that bothers me is that they bother you guys. Yeah, I got it fixed. Okay. They don't bother me at all. In fact, I get, the fact that they're here in the stream, I make more money. Like when I do my ad reads, I get paid per viewer. I hope they know that. So I appreciate that. Our sergeant says, so you know if anything relevant came out of that big UFO file dump? Not really. I mean, there was a lot of, I would recommend still looking at it. Like, it's pretty interesting. But I mean, there was some stuff about like a 4-foot tall figure. I don't know if anyone saw the other stuff. There was something about like, did you see one of the images allegedly look like the biblical definition of an angel? Did you guys see that one? Do you believe in aliens, Jeremy? Yes, I do. Yep. 100%. If they don't bother you, I talk about them because for good or bad, I interact with my chat. Almost anybody else at this time slot is not interacting with their chat, especially people who aren't paying them money. And so people take advantage of that. It's unfortunate. If I was like any other streamer on Rumble, I would, for the most part, not all of them, I wouldn't even read chat, and I might read a few Rumble rants. But I read chat, which signals to people who want to get under my skin that they can get at me. And so it's unfortunate, and I don't want to, like, I left X, and I feel great. I don't miss it at all. The first day after I left X, I was like, what's going on X? Now it's been, 3 or 4 days? Don't even give a shit. But the, chat's going to end up being the same thing. Like, if chat becomes unusable, then I'll just be like every other streamer, and it sucks, and I don't want that, That's why we like you, because you have a relationship with your audience. I know most, what's interesting? It's easy for me to tell who's here in good faith and who's not, because I've been doing this for so long. I have almost all of your usernames memorized. You know what I'm saying? The burner account, though. Yeah, retards thought that they thought that they really got me. This is some funny stuff. I know I'm going to give them a clip here, so clip this. One of the biggest retards was like, oh, I have information that Jeremy's talking to people at YouTube and he's going to get his name taken out of a complete fucking lie. That's how desperate they are for content. First of all, how would he even know that? Second of all, it's just not true. And the same retard's like, guys, we found his alt account. You mean one of my many other X accounts that I'm also not posting to? They're like, yeah, we got him. He has another X account that he's very publicly talked about before. Yeah. God, make a video, guys. Go to the X account. Again, haven't posted. It's so weird. You must have a great memory for all those names. Well, it's just you see the same names every day for 2 years, I'm really worried about you, from a guy whose name is Jermageddon. Oh, you sound like an authentic. You're definitely fooling me with your username. I'm doing great. So you admit you're still on Twitter. Twitter's on my screen, but I don't post and I don't read it. I grab news stories and I move on with my life. The reason I just use like an egg account is because I don't want to be sucked into any drama. So it's just an account that I never used. And so I don't have to see drama. I don't have to get sucked into it. I don't have to worry about it. This kind of stuff. I think it's good you interact with chat. Yeah. Can we get back to the news? Yes. All right. HVAC. Right. Gotcha. So pretty interesting update on the story I covered last night. There is I don't even know where he streams anymore. He was on Kick, I believe, and then he was removed from there. So I don't know where he actually did stream. I don't know what the category of streamer you would probably call this individual. Maybe a nuisance streamer. Is that perhaps what you might call, like, this guy just would walk around and essentially antagonize people? It's not the type of streamer that I like and that I think is, good for the world. They've been around forever. They've been around forever. And so, like, it's not anything new. IP2 was a thing for a long time. That Johnny Somali guy is a thing. For a while, all this kind of stuff. And so, like, it's always going to be a category of stuff. Actually, what was that one kid's name that's really annoying? He would, like, walk around and then, like, he would have big, huge bodyguards with him, and he would, like, purposely slam into people and then, like, hide behind his bodyguards. Well, this guy, Chud, the builder, is, like, basically like that. And he would walk around and say, basically call black people the word, and then ask them if they would, quote, chimp out, if they were going to, quote, chimp out. So yesterday he had a court date. And I guess when he was leaving court, there was somebody there waiting for him, somebody who was there to attack him. And he then defended himself, wounding himself in the process. And then right now, or like last night or early this morning, it turns out that now he was charged with attempting to take the man who attacked him's life. Something is not adding up here, especially when we look at more of the information here, because it looks like the guy was stalking him, but there must have been something that happened before the altercation that we don't know about. Because what we know about the incident is that he was leaving court. Some individual was eyeballing him. I asked him if I liked the suit. He said some sort of, I think he asked him if he was going to, quote unquote, chimp out or something like that. And a fight ensued. Chud said that the guy sucker punched him. At some point, he let off a few shots, striking the man in the stomach and also himself in the arm. And now this morning, he's been charged with attempted murder, which is really, really odd to me. Now, I've seen some video of the event, and it doesn't really show you anything leading up to it. It just shows you once they're scrapping on the ground. But this is going to be... The issue is the man was a veteran. The man who attacked him was a veteran with PTSD. This whole case is really, really, really messy. And when it goes to court, I think it's going to be hard for Chud to, like, become likable for the jury. When the prosecutor shows like 1,000 videos of him calling people the N-word, and it's crazy. So streamer Chud the Builder has been charged with attempting to take somebody's life for defending himself outside of a courthouse in front of Tennessee, which is crazy. This is Tennessee. The streamer, whose name is Dalton, defended himself against a man. I'm not using the mainstream media's definition of this. Defended himself against a man during a fight outside the courthouse in Clarksville, according to District Attorney Robert J. Nash, who said he also hurt himself in the fracas. Etherly, who amassed an online following by filming himself spewing mean words to get reactions, was in court for a civil case over unpaid debts just days after he was arrested for skipping out on a $400 bill while refusing to stop streaming. Okay. He live streamed the scene, blaming the incident on the other man, who was black, according to witnesses, confronting him over his vile online content. I mean, all of this sounds normal to me, right? This stuff sounds like this is probably what happened. Now, based on Chud's content, and I have seen a lot of it, I would not be surprised if it came out that he was antagonizing this individual. That said, that does not justify physical altercation. That does not justify attacking the guy. The soldier having PTSD is not an excuse, because I will show you that this was premeditated. At least there's some information that it's premeditated. He said the man and others were laughing as he walked by and threatened to hit him if he started spouting his ideologies. He said, if you start saying that chimp out-ish to me, I'm going to hit you. And he hit me. Now, what Chud is probably skipping right there is that he probably said it. He almost guaranteed said it, because every time I've seen somebody say that to him, like, I bet you won't say it, he says it. That said, I just want to be very clear. Doesn't matter what he says. Doesn't mean that the guy can put his hands on him. Doesn't. But I guarantee you, if a black man said, you're not going to say it, he said it. All right? He said it. Let's just say that. I've seen enough of his clips on social media. And so I think it's interesting that I watched the live video of him. He did not tell the police that he said it, but it doesn't matter if he said it or not. The guy cannot attack you for words. That's not how this works. Then he started wailing on me. Eitherly, who has multiple videos online referring to black people as certain things, said in the video, again, doesn't matter. Then Eitherly bizarrely tried to pin the blame on rich people, goading strangers into harming him. They're all publicly saying, if you go get this guy, we'll make you rich. That, again, I am no fan of this guy's content. I am no fan of this guy's content. However, that stuff was clearly happening. That stuff was happening. You could see it. Now, I don't know about the quote unquote rich people, but I definitely saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on social media saying, like, whoever gets this guy is going to get rich. Whoever gets this guy is going to get money. Whoever gets, all this kind of stuff. Like, he's not wrong about that. I don't care. Like, I don't like to watch nuisance streaming content because I'm not a child. But if you're entertained by it or you get a giggle out of it, that doesn't make you a bad person. And to be totally honest with you, again, the point of this video is to say that whatever he said to that guy does not justify him putting his hands on him. Like, it does not. Eitherly also, he hurt himself at the scene. He's additionally been charged with aggravated assault, reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, and employing a weapon during a dangerous felony. So what these charges, again, you might have to let me know in the comments, but like, I assume they're saying that he started it. I assume they're saying that he started it, because why would he get charged with all these charges for defending himself? So they must be saying he started it. In his live stream, he insisted that he fired in self-defense. I believe that he did. I honestly believe he did. Until I see any evidence otherwise, I reserve the right to change my mind, but I've seen the way this guy moves. He goes up to people, he says the word, he asks them if they're going to, quote unquote, chimp out. And that's about it. I've never seen him like take things physical, and maybe it exists. Okay, it's not, I'm not a consumer of his content, you know, but like I've never seen him start a physical altercation. The mustached antagonist was supposed to appear in court on Wednesday afternoon in a civil case where he's being sued for not paying a meal. Last Friday, the self-described free speech patriot was allegedly arrested for harassing strangers at an upscale steakhouse. Again, none of these things. This is the guy that. I think the filter's dope. Anyway, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, the man that went after Chud the Builder is a 31-year-old Army veteran, Joshua Fox. He is a disabled veteran with 2 kids that suffers PTSD and other medical conditions. Chud is facing 25 years in prison. I mean, a plumber came to my apartment today, banging on the door like he was. I can't play because there's music, but there is a purported. Now, I don't know if this is real or not, so I want to be very careful. But people are saying, bro literally planned to pull up on Chud. Learn the gun laws, fool. Here is apparently allegedly his ex account. He's near my city. Should I go do it? And then he looked up the address. That would obviously look, he's got a tough legal battle being a nuisance streamer, but that's not a good look for the attacker. This says that's not him. So if it's not him, I don't know. If they charge this streamer, then they must think he started the fight. This says the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office announced late Wednesday night that Etherly was detained as a result of the incident. The streamer has been charged with attempted murder. And Amari King writes, I am in contact with Chud. They're trying to throw the book at him. Every single charge, negligent discharge. I'm going to post a link to his Give, Send, Go. I would be very cautious about donating money until we get more information. This is the poor little, quote, disabled veteran that attacked Chud, by the way, a man that allegedly attempted to burn the apartment down with an aerosol can. The guy clearly has issues. Here's another charge. Joshua Level Fox, was booked and charged with harassment. He's a career criminal. So he's a career criminal who, you can see he's raised $77,000. I don't know how much of that has come in recently, but to me, this is not going to end well. This is clearly a case of, at worst, some guy, attacking him and him defending himself, that's at worst. I don't believe that there's going to be any evidence that shows like this guy walking up and just firing on somebody. There's not going to be evidence of him hitting the guy first. I don't think, just because I haven't seen that happen before. This is going to be very bad, especially if it goes to trial, because, people are getting fatigued. Let me know what you think about these charges. The court must think he started it. Why would he start something when he's just leaving court? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that he would have started it. I've seen his content before. I mean, he is a professional asshole, but that doesn't matter. Like, he can say whatever he wants, and you don't get to attack him. Like, that's not how any of this works. Like, period. That's just not how any of this works. Let's see. He's got the old taco tickler. Yeah. We need you 100% on board. So I mean, I'm saying like, I don't see anything to indicate that he should be being charged here. I think he's being charged because he's a provocateur, and unless they show some sort of evidence that he started the fight, then pulled the gun, you know. Now that I'm not recording a VOD, I can show you the footage of the fight, but there's not much to see. Here. There's footage of like the end of the fight. That one isn't. I'm trying to see. I mean, the black guy's on top of him attacking him. I'm trying to find. There was a better video, I think. Yeah, like here. I don't even know what. It's hard to even tell who the fuck is who here. So there are already cops everywhere. Okay, you can see they're everywhere all over the scene. It's like we have to go frame by frame. I hope you like this time slot. Look, if I get this time slot up to like 3 to 4K, I'm staying in it. If I get this time slot up to 3 or 4K concurrent viewers, I'm staying in it. Today's basically the first time I'm in there, and we're at 1.5K. I haven't advertised it to my standalone videos or my, on any of my platforms, anything like that. So I think we can, if I can get to 3 to 4K, I'm just going to stay in it. If I can't, then I'm going to probably try the pre-Tim Pool time slot. This is the video. Oh my God. You can see, all you can really see is that they're fighting. And it looks like
Holy shit. They're out here. Somebody got shot. Yeah.
You can't even really tell what the fuck's going on. And the way the shadowing is, like, I don't even know who the black guy is. Can you guys even tell?
Oh my God.
Like, they're already scrapping. You can see way over here. It looks like Chud's on top of him. Looks like the long hair. It looks like it looks like he's to zoom in. I'm like, it never occurred to me to zoom in, and it didn't. It looks like this. It looks like the guy on top is Chud because he's got that long hair.
Holy shit.
And then you can see the gun there, I think. Like, he's pulling him off, and you see the gun right here. I think. Is that what we think? I think that it's a hand. It's a hand, maybe.
Holy shit. They're out here. Somebody got shot. Yeah.
I can't tell who's who. I'm guessing the guy laying down here is the black guy who got shot.
In between. They got him. They got him. Holy fuck. Is someone down? I just see the one guy. Oh my God. It's okay, Mav. Sorry, that made my heart beat. No, I'm right there. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Oh.
He's okay. So the guy on the ground is a black guy. He's not dead. These people are dumb. He's not dead.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Someone called him because I'm recording.
You suck at recording. Stop moving around. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think that. It looks like there was just a fight. Now, the interesting thing is, it looks like he came up there looking for him. It looks like the black guy who shot Chud was hunting him. You can see this. We're getting close to the series finale. He's near my city. Should I go do it? Craig Jones, here's his address. He's near my city. Now, again, who knows? Do we know if OG Icy is actually him or not? Yeah. I don't know. But the fact that they're charging him, if the fact that you're charging him with attempted murder, they must think he started the fight. Right? Am I? I don't know. My guess is they must think, right? Am I wrong? I mean, what do you guys think? They must think that he started the fight. Otherwise, why would they be charging? Why would they be charging with attempted murder if they thought it was just mutual combat? I mean, it is a stand your ground state. So I don't really know. You know what I mean? What do you guys think? Tennessee has laws where if you antagonize someone, you cannot claim self-defense. Is that true? If that's true, then that would make sense. That would make sense. That would make sense. That would make sense. If that is true, yeah, a lot of states have provocation laws like that now. Okay, so that's probably why he got charged. You know? Probably mostly true. They have a statement that if you use excessive force, let's see. Provocation law, Tennessee. Self-defense. In Tennessee, self-defense is not justified if you provoke another person's use of force. Interesting. There you go. So that's why he got charged. They're going to say he provoked it, and therefore he could not use his gun. Got to know the laws. He's cooked. He's cooked. He's cooked. He's going to go to jail. Now, it does say regaining self-defense rights. To reestablish the right to self-defense after provoking a fight, you must abandon the encounter and clearly communicate that intent to the other party. So if he had disengaged, like he said, something like he said, hey, you're going to chimp out. And then the guy said something like, oh, I'm going to start a fight or I'm going to swing on you. And then he's like, nah, man, it's not worth it, and walked away. Then he may have at some point regained his right to self-defense. What is provocation? Yeah, they'll probably have to determine that in jail. They're probably both going to jail. That I agree with you too. What is provocation? How is it defined? Should I ask that? Provocation generally negates stand your ground rights, requiring you to retreat and regain your right to self-defense. Yeah, I mean, I think that's odd. I get like, I get why that law exists though. You can't just like start a fight with somebody and then say, whoa, it was self-defense. Okay, I'll look at the definition of provocation. The provocation law generally qualifies as a person from claiming. Yeah, we know that. What qualifies as provocation? Right? That's what we want to know. It's generally defined as conduct that would arouse the passion of a reasonable person and cause them to act out of the heat of passion rather than reason. Calling a black guy is probably going to qualify. It shouldn't, but it will. The one maybe, again, there are actual lawyers who live stream that will be able to talk about this from a more educated perspective. One, if that is him and he did stalk him, then it will probably be self-defense, right? If that is him and he stalked him, that's his ex account, I think that probably would say, well, the guy was stalking me. He knew what I was going to do. It was premeditated. That would probably get him a self-defense. You know, at least he can make a good case. I don't think calling someone a name should qualify as a legal, you know, I think it would be like saying, hey, I'm going to end your life, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. Calling someone a name should not probably qualify. I'm not, yeah, I mean, this is going to be, I mean, just say putting them, you know, just putting them on trial and just looking at his behavior, he's going to be like the most unlikable defendant in history. Did the other guy have a weapon? Not that anyone has said. No. The other guy also had PTSD, and couldn't you argue like how would Chud have known that? No, that wasn't. It's just troll. It's a troll. Yeah. They'll probably reduce the charges at some point. Yeah, you would think, especially if he survives. Like, as long as he survives, you would think, you know. Panaconda, morning, Jeremy. I like your content. I'm enjoying morning streams. I left a like and got my friends to subscribe to upset the haters. I appreciate you, Panaconda. I appreciate you. Haters are viewers too. That's okay. You know, everything's fine. I wanted your permission first. What I missed? Can we build N-word towers in chat? I'm not going to permit anything. It's not for me to, you know, I would rather you didn't. But I don't, I mean, let's see. I would prefer you didn't. But I don't really care what you do. All right. Clarksville. No, yeah. All right, let's get to this next topic. Yeah, it's you know, I like the flow of the morning streams because I don't feel like, I also feel like in my VODs, Like when I'm actually recording the videos, I think I know I'm low energy, but like I know I feel like I feel like it's not the fourth time I've talked about something when I'm recording the VOD kind of thing. Like I'm actually gonna start uploading my videos earlier in the day starting next week too, and saving the culture topics, like stuff that can go whenever, that can go later in the afternoon, but like more news in the morning. I like the flow of the morning stream. Yeah, yeah. Whoops. Phrasing. I was saying in the morning, I'm gonna try the morning streams for several weeks. You can't just go once and say like, oh, this was a success or it was not a success. You know, like 2-3 weeks of being there on time at 9 Eastern. See if we start building a little bit of an audience. See if we start, pulling over 2K, 2,500, moving in the right direction. Maybe promote it a little bit. I don't really chat much, but this is a nice time slot. Yeah. I know I'm competing with Dan Bongino, but I mean, only on Rumble, like only on Rumble is that a thing. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Dan Bongino has 53,000 live right now. I wouldn't want to go against that. I get it, but like that's true of all time slots. Like, okay, well, I go up against Tim Pool, or I go up against Steven Crowder, or I go up, you know what I mean? Like, the only real solution. Any thoughts on Age of Disclosure movie coming out soon? Also, might be better idea not to compete with Asmongold's at 2 Eastern. Yeah, well, Asmongold took over my time slot. I was always in that, but the other, like, he's obviously much bigger than me, but like the other time slot I want to test is at like 5 o'clock leading into Tim Pool, like 6 Eastern, 5 Central. I might, as a test, I might test that on like Tuesdays and Thursdays when Melanie's here. Tim Pool gave up the morning streams and he left it to Tate Brown. Yeah, that's true. There'll always be a stream going on. You have to do what's best for you. Yeah, that's what I think. So I agree with that, Brian. Like, that's kind of just what you got to do. Like, what can you do? And I think in terms of flow rate of the morning stream, as a lead into Crowder, that's the best. And like, maybe I could get Crowder to give it a shout out. He probably can't because he's committed to doing the lineup stuff, but I'm trying to get ahead of, maybe where, the 2 o'clock Eastern time slot was great because it brought a big audience. But how much of that audience was just watching me because I was on the homepage at that time? And how much of that audience actually wants to watch my show? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's obviously not the 8,000 to 10,000 people that we would have when we were on the homepage for 2 hours. But how many of them can I get to follow me to a different time slot? Those are the people I really care about versus the people who just have the Rumble homepage open, Most of us are banned by Bongino. Oh. When does Shapiro stream? You have to be aware of that time slot too. I think he's in the afternoon. I think that, like, honestly, if you do a live stream, people can watch it whenever. Like people can just watch it whenever they want. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the other aspect of it. Is okay, maybe they're not watching it at 9, but they'll watch it at maybe like the VOD views will be higher. Yeah, there are no time slots. I mean, that only on Rumble are people like trained like that because of the lineup. But it's not like on Twitch, people just go live when they go live. They're not worried about when other people are live. They just go live when they're live, you know? Yeah, let's get to the Benny Johnson stuff. Mel will be here. We'll be live at 2:00. I actually thought about competing directly with Tim. But my wife, she's not a big fan of like streaming at night because that's kind of our time. You know? Are you going for 1 or 2 hour streams? I'm going, the morning streams will be 2 hours, maybe longer sometimes, depending on how much news there is. The afternoon streams will be for fun. You know what I mean? Will morning show have any co-hosts? Well, I mean, we'll see how established we get. You know, I just want to let things kind of settle down right now. You know, there's a lot of weirdness. A lot of people are being psychopaths. Like my co-hosts are taking, like, people are harassing my co-hosts and they think it's funny or they think that it's like justified. And right now I just kind of want to protect them. You know what I mean? I just want to kind of want to protect my co-hosts, if that makes sense. The stuff that they're going through is insane. And I just want to protect them from it because, like, people are fucking psychos. Let's see. Yes, people are harassing both of them nonstop with just unbelievable, vile stuff, but they don't want to say anything about it publicly because it only makes it worse. You can ask Chrissy Mayer about that. You know, these people they think that they're righteous or whatever, but they're just insane. Like, you know, yes, I am streaming twice today. Yep. All right, let's get to the Benny news. Yes, Hannah Claire too. All of them getting vile, disgusting harassment. Their families getting harassed. You know, and certain YouTubers keep piling on and pretending that they're not making it worse for them because they're fighting the fight. Well, the shit doesn't bother me. And all you're doing is harassing these two women who did fucking nothing wrong. But yeah, you're an awesome, cool dude. Yeah, I'm sorry your comic fucking bombed, dude, but it's not my fault. Anyway, let's get to it. What they did to Hannah Claire was disgusting. If you look at what these people are doing to Chrissy Mayer, it's disgusting. And it's not the people that got banned. It's the other YouTubers. But I can't get into it because it'll only make it worse on them. I would love nothing more than to defend them, but all it will do is make it worse for them. So, you know, that's it. That's it. Like, see. I would, but it makes it worse on other people in my life, so I can't. And they know that, which is why they say some of the heinous stuff they do. It doesn't really matter, does it? Let's see. Answer for the whole lot. That's how I found you. Reset my algorithm. Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird. Anyway, let's go on. Yeah, she's one of the saddest turncoats. Anyway, let's not do this. Let's get into the story. All right. Looks like an all-out battle broke out last night. I saw Benny Johnson was trending. There was all sorts of angry tweets back and forth. Benny Johnson versus, I guess, Marjorie Taylor Greene versus Thomas Massey. Look, I know a lot of people, politically, the thing is, Thomas Massey, nothing Thomas Massey. He is not my state representative. I don't care. Some things he does, I agree with. Some things he does, I disagree with. It's not like some of these politicians are bigger and they get this national spotlight. And so they get different levels of criticism, different level of funding. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I used to like, but now I think is a fraud. Now, if that makes you mad, I understand. But I really feel like Marjorie Taylor Greene is, I don't know what happened to her. Something happened to her. She made all sorts of promises. Oh, I'm going to name names on the House floor, blah, 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 and then never did it. I'm not 100-0 against Marjorie Taylor Greene because she stood on principle at for a long time. But she seems weird to me, this stuff. So yesterday she goes after Benny Johnson. So it all started, I guess, from this video. Benny Propaganson. I think we do better on that nickname. Comes for Thomas Massey. This video from Benny Johnson doing his usual propaganda, song and dance, and unsubstantiated claims about W, and is one of the most. So this guy seems very mad. Let's see what this is about.
Filthiest pigs that squeal the loudest, and Thomas Massey is a pig.
Of course, if it's not the queen of the political grift herself, Benny Johnson. You better bring some heat if you're going to come in that hot, brother. Take it away.
Who's been squealing, calling President Trump's administration the Epstein administration, constantly banging on about the Congressional Slush Fund. You know who also did this? Eric Swalwell.
Yes, of course, Eric Swalwell, who had a laundry list of claims as well as verifiable video evidence and dropped out of the race in disgrace. And you're going to compare that to...
Now, to be fair, look, Benny has always been very kind to me, and he's probably more educated on the Massey claims or whatever. But to me, anytime it's election time and a spurious claim gets made, it's odd, right? It just so happens that there's an election coming up, and it just so happens that here's a random woman that comes forward and says something bad happened. You know what I mean? That is always odd. Now, Benny reports on the news, and so that's clearly what he's doing here. This individual here obviously doesn't like it. I'm not going to play the whole 9-minute video. It's more about what Marjorie Taylor Greene said, and then Benny replied with.
One woman making an unsubstantiated accusation against Thomas Massey. You're going to put them into the same category. All right.
Oh, victims. Oh, these poor women. Meanwhile, Eric Swalwell straight up drugging and choking women up in his hotel rooms.
Allegedly.
Staffer list as long as my arm of staffers that say that he committed sexual assault against them.
Yeah.
It's 50 different charges against him. Had to drop out of politics, drop out of the governor's race.
Right, and the one unsubstantiated claim of Thomas Massey that's been out for not even 24 hours accuses him of none of those things. None of those things. Not even anything even remotely close to any of those things.
True.
Go on. No claims of physical abuse, drugs, documented evidence, nothing. And the story is still unfolding. But you still come out here and call.
So this guy is a Massey stan. So he's really mad that Benny Johnson covered the Thomas Massey stuff. Now, Benny's obviously going to be loyal to Trump, and Thomas Massey is anti-Trump, so this is not a hard line to draw. But what Marjorie Taylor Greene does is this is a clinic on how to call out the lies of social media influencers that get paid to spew propaganda. Now, let's dial it back, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm pretty sure politicians are basically the same thing. Benny Johnson, who I thought was a friend, couldn't even give me the courtesy of asking me if any of these lies were true. TMZ and Daily Mail actually reached out, but not Benny. And Thomas Massey did not mistreat any women, but appears to have a primary next week. So, of course, a story comes out from a woman who is just jealous she isn't Mrs. Massey. Now, I happen to believe, that this woman's claim, like, big claims mean big, you need big evidence for that. She's also mad, I think, that, Benny Johnson reported about her buying some house in Costa Rica or something like that. So Benny replies and actually ratios her and says, and we all know if you ratio somebody on X, that means it's right. I know everyone has become very fragile and overly emotional lately, so let me explain this calmly and slowly. I cover trending news topics on my show. The Massey claims and your South America mansion were the #1 trending topics on the platform. True. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the mansion thing, apparently Marjorie Taylor Greene bought some expensive mansion like in Costa Rica or something like that. Costa Rica or Dominican Republic or some, she made a lot of money while she was in government. She says it was because of her husband's business. I don't know. To me, basically everyone in government is crooked anyway. I'm entitled to my opinions on these matters. I serve my audience. That's my job. And unlike you, I won't run away from my job when things get tough. Zing. Even worse, you're now siding with left-wing extremists who attacked us all for years and want our movement and leaders dead. Anyway, have a great time crying about this on The View and CNN. I mean, based? I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, I don't disagree with him. Now, I don't, unlike maybe Benny or anybody else in these comments, I don't have an issue with Thomas Massey. He does not serve in my state. I don't live in Kentucky. I don't vote for Thomas Massey. His opinions do not matter to me. Thomas Massey does not have more pull or less pull than anyone else in anyone else's state. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't matter. But he's 1,000% not wrong. She goes on The View. She goes on CNN. She talks about how everything's falling apart. And by the way, like, you would think a tweet from her would get more than 5,000 likes. She has 2 million followers, right? But this is only the beginning of the back and forth, right? And again, Thomas Massey just reached 2 million in donations from hundreds of thousands of people across the country because he is worth that much to us. I don't. If you like Thomas Massey, I hope he wins. If you don't like him, I don't want to. I don't care. He doesn't run in my state. Charlie Kirk liked Thomas Massey. And to me, I think like it's kind of dangerous to be, I got enough to worry about in my own state. I'll put it that way. So then former Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene logs onto a different X account. Isn't that funny? She used a different X account because she got, I guess, ratioed on her first one. She used her former Congresswoman one of 5.4 million followers to then try and roast apparently Benny Johnson, writing, next time Benny Johnson is speaking to the young people at Turning Point USA rally, everyone remember that Benny hates Thomas Massey, who younger voters love and support. And Benny Johnson loves MAGA Israel-funded Ed Gallerin. Gen Z does not support our tax dollars going to Israel. This is like what is the fallacy? Like not appeal to authority or appeal to, like, I find this to be a tactic that like Candace Owens uses too. Every time she's losing an argument, she'll suddenly be like, but the Jews. And then she'll get a flood of new support because people are like, oh yeah, I remember Jews bad. And she'll get a bunch of, flood of support. That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing here. She lost the argument. So then she's like, it's the Jews. But Benny Johnson viciously attacks Thomas Massie, the only Republican who voted for my amendment to stop funding being sent to Israel. Well, Thomas Massie basically votes no on everything, doesn't he? Isn't that kind of his thing? Isn't that kind of his thing? The generational divide is real. And Benny Johnson's dream to be a Fox News anchor next to Mark Levin, spoon-feeding the boomers' neocon establishment slop, is literally destroying the future of TPUSA's targeted audience. Oh, that's a lot. I mean, first of all, whether or not you like Benny Johnson, I'm pretty sure he's making way more money now doing what he is doing now than he would ever as a Fox News anchor. Like that's like a very weird, that's a very weird thing. And he then strikes back by saying, Marjorie, I don't like frauds who betray their voters and the mega base like you did. That's why you're tweeting from a former member of Congress account. Embarrassing. You're 52. Time to stop auditioning for The View. Also, calm down. Aren't you supposed to be on vacation? I know that there is a lot of people that, again, Marjorie Taylor Greene here, like every buzzword imaginable, right? Is Fox News, Mark Levin, boomers, neocons, slop. Just, like she put like every buzzword imaginable together in this tweet to try and, discredit him. Still only got 4,000 likes from a tweet from an account with 5.4 million followers. I think the real issue here is that Marjorie Taylor Greene has either she was a big mega person, either she was a big mega person and isn't now, or never was. Both could be true. She could change her mind. She could, all that kind of stuff. She definitely could have. But she was one of the coldest, hardest, staunch supporters of Trump. And then it seemed like overnight, it was just gone. She just hated Trump. She was like, hey, we're gonna do the whole Israel bad thing. Again, I am agnostic on Israel. It's not my area of expertise, but it seems like Benny has put the claws out a little bit with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and whether or not you like Benny's content, I tend to side with him because Marjorie Taylor Greene, Marjorie is claiming I'm out of touch with the mega base. The one time she was on The View, Marjorie Taylor Greene immediately mutated into a woke feminist, bashing men, Trump's agenda, and other Republican leaders to appease the low IQ lib women, humiliating. He's not wrong.
Practically, I yelled at Mike Johnson last week on our GOP conference call. By the way, I'm missing the call today. It's going on right now. And I hope that Mike Johnson is finally giving a single health care policy because the country deserves it, and it shouldn't be a secret. And I shouldn't have to go into a skiff to go find our Republican health insurance plan.
Maybe there is no plan. So, Marjorie, conservatives were criticizing you for coming on this show. I think you mentioned it already, that there were a few. And you called them, quote unquote, I believe this is you, mostly weak Republican men. So would you like to name names?
I mean, this is who Marjorie Taylor Greene is now. So I tend to side with Benny on this one. Yeah, I tend to side with Benny on this one, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion, you know. Just talking to my editor right now. I've got more stories, more store eyes for your sore eyes. How's everybody's mornings going? How do we like in this time slot? How do we like this time slot? I got to be totally honest. We have basically the same number of viewers in this time slot that we did yesterday in our normal 2 o'clock time slot. And I haven't really even hard cut it off yet, you know, or hard promoted. Is anybody here today that like watched the 2 o'clock show yesterday and thought, and when I told you like, hey, come at 9 o'clock, you came today for the first time? Phrasing. You're here for you're viewing for the first time after I told you yesterday. Don't have much love for Graham, so I like this option. Cool. Here before Crowder. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Two is a hit or miss for me. This is solid. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll see how she goes. Let's see here. I've got more stories. Also, the nice thing about the morning streams is that like we get to cover a wider variety of topics, which is great. We get to cover a wider variety of topics, which I like. I didn't realize you were live now, like Graham, but not Bongino, so 10 works for me. It's hard to wake up early, but just, yeah, okay. Just shot me some fireball now. You gotta be careful, Tim. I know you, but like you gotta be careful right now. You might get caught up. Crowder raid, he is on. Make sure you raid Crowder. Well, I'm not done yet. I got a couple stories. Let's see. Just titling them. Let's see. Do you watch UFC? And if so, what are your thoughts on UFC 250? I'm a super casual. Like I watch I watch like I know Sean Strickland, I'll watch him fight. I'll watch Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey fight. Or I'll watch who's the other one? Cowboy something or other. Or like Israel Adonise. You know, I'll watch like, you know, I'm super. The Sean Strickland fight was great. My opinion, probably there was some question whether or not he won that fight, but I think that the answer is that he was the defending champ, so you're probably going to get the benefit of the doubt. You know. I've been watching Asmongold on Rumble lately, so I'm glad I can watch it this time now. Yeah, Gina's got her shape back. Golly, yeah, Gina looks very fit. She must have worked. I mean, she wasn't like, you know, she just wasn't in fighting shape, I would say. But seeing her like, in that like Netflix promo thing. It was great. She looked extremely happy and healthy. It was inspiring, like very inspiring to me. It's like, dang, fatty, get your stuff together. Prediction for Gina and Rousey. Don't make me. I mean, here's the thing. Chat, how about you predict? Because first of all, I'm not a fight expert. So it's like I'm not a great guy to like be, figuring this out. When HCB comes back from leadership camp, she will know MMA and how to shoot every gun with perfect accuracy. I hope so. I mean, here's what I'll say. Yeah, agent, that's right. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I would say, okay, man, I don't know. This is so tough because I've got 2 segments left, so you won't miss much of Crowder. But this is somebody asked a question. I think they put on a good fight. That's what I think. I think at both of their stages in their life and career, this fight will not end in round 1. Does that make sense? Like, I think when you see these fights with people that are like retired, yes, I want it to be Gina, but the thing is Gina's been out of the game way longer, right? Way longer. And Ronda Rousey fought better competition. I had to say it. That's not Gina's fault. Gina fought who she could fight. That's like saying like, oh, this NFL team that was 17-0 didn't play enough good teams. They can only face who they can face. But like Ronda Rousey fought much better competition. And Ronda Rousey was a killer for like a very short period of time. So she got her career completely ended by, was it Chris Cyborg? Is that who that was? Avoid the cameras when Rousey's below average. Yes, we saw that. Yeah. Like, I think that, was it Nunez? Okay, it was Amanda Nunez or whatever her name was. I remember going to watch that fight at Buffalo Wild Wings, and who's going to have the wardrobe malfunction? Well, if it's based on Gina's got more to malfunction with. I guess I'll put it that way. Oh, Holly Holm. Yeah, Holly Holm. Yeah, I went, like it was 20 years ago. Give me a break. But like, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch that fight, and Ronda Rousey got fucking destroyed. Like, it was bad. Bad. Yeah, head kicked her had the head kick of the decade. Buffalo Wild Wings for Gina Rousey fight. I don't have to. It's on Netflix, I think, right? It was 10 years ago, not 20. Okay, it was 10 years ago. Holly Holmes kicked her in the face. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we could do like a Discord event where we all like watch it together. Holm beat her first, but Nunez ended her career. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Either way, both of those fights went very bad for Ronda Rousey. The issue I have is that I can't stream the fight, but I could stream and we could like watch the fight together and commentate on it like Joe Rogan does. Ronda Rousey not only fought sooner, right? Like more recently, she also stayed extremely fit. Like she was in WWE, right? She was in wrestling and stuff like that. Like Ronda Rousey stayed fit basically the whole time. Oh yeah, why? Yeah, just stream it to Rumble. Yeah, I guess why not? She was in wrestling. So Gina had a lot of ground to make up to train for this fight. I will be cheering 100% for Gina Carano. I will be 100% cheering for Gina Carano. That's my answer. All right, let's get to this. I don't know how long she's been training. You know what I mean? Rumble does not ban movies or pay-per-views. Well, I don't think that it would be a good look if I were like restreaming a Netflix event. But what I could do is everyone could watch it together and we could like commentate on it, you know? They can start together for the Expendables, yeah. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, one thing you can do is just leave a like on it. I don't think it actually helps, but it does make the haters cry. You know? It does make the haters cry. Yes, Gina is way hotter. Are we getting drunk again, fatty? Sorry, no, not today. Maybe you can, though. I'm not saying you can't. All right, let's talk about this. Bad news for consumers of fast or faster food. McDonald's has a new warning for all of its customers. Surprise, it's going to be jacking up prices again. McDonald's has been increasing prices at legendary rates, some as many as 200 to 300% since 2020. And I'm getting a little tired of their excuses. You know, like I'm getting a little tired of their excuses. But we're going to get into all that after a super quick word from this video sponsor, Private Internet Access, which you guys don't have to see. McDonald's has a new warning for all of its customers. McDonald's customers get bad news again. For decades, McDonald's was synonymous with affordable, tasty fast food meals. While its food offerings still taste good, the chain's brand image changed after the lockdowns. The fast food giant has undergone a major transformation in how it sets prices and targets customers. From 2020 to 2026, McDonald's reputation shifted from, quote, the cheapest option to a brand struggling with value perception. Over the last few years, McDonald's average prices per item have grown about 40%. The chain faced harsh criticism, even though CEO Chris Kempczinski justified the increases, citing the rising cost of food. I mean, is it fair to say that food costs have increased? Yes. Yeah, food costs have increased. But McDonald's cost has increased at a crazy rate. At a crazy rate. Over the last few years, 40%. In September 2025, the CEO raised the alarm about customers' new behavior. He stressed that to many customers, especially those with lower incomes, were starting to skip meals or just eat at home. Well, the issue is consumers are, in fact, as many people are going to comment saying that they've cut back their prices, they are, in fact, are cut back on eating it. They're not. People are still eating fast food as much as they ever have. It's because a lot of people eat it out of necessity, not because they love it or think it's some amazing thing, right? Fast food sales rise despite higher gas prices. Well, we'll get to that in a second. The CEO called this a two-tier economy and recognized that the company needs to make eating McDonald's feel affordable again. This is last fall when he said that. To win back customers earlier this year, McDonald's launched several new value offerings, including the $3 menu and the $4 breakfast. Early signs showed these deals are working. Still, during their latest earnings call, the chain dropped some more bad news for its customers. On May 7th, McDonald's reported first quarter earnings results, revealing that 3.8% growth in global comparable sales and 3.9% in U.S. comparable sales, according to the company's Form 10-Q with the SEC. Moreover, the chain revealed that system-wide increases 11% to over $34 billion in adjusted earnings per share, blah, 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 blah. Guys don't really care about the stock market stuff, right? The company reaffirmed its full-year targets and reiterated its goal of reaching roughly 50,000 restaurants by the end of 2027, according to its earnings call, as reported by Seeking Alpha. Quote, "We believe McDonald's can still do what very few brands can. We can lead on value. We can show up in culture in ways that matter. We can keep bringing customers menu news that gives them more reasons to choose us." While the results came in slightly stronger than what Wall Street estimated, Executive VP and Global CFO Ian Borden pointed out U.S. company operating margins in the quarter were not acceptable. Essentially, they weren't making enough money. We're actively addressing opportunities to improve performance and revisiting optimal franchise versus company ownership balances to maximize systemic value. What that really means is that they're going to increase prices. That's what they're going to do. Additionally, Kapczynski highlighted that the business faces several pressures. McDonald's acknowledged inflationary pressures for its franchises that customers amid rising beef and energy costs kept prices. Kapczynski pointed out that higher costs are tightening cash flows for its franchises, which account for 95% of the chain's restaurants. No surprise that with inflation we're seeing in the market, there's certainly a lot of pressure that we've been trying to navigate with franchises around their own profitability. Here's the issue. Every freaking chance these people have to raise prices, every chance these people have to raise prices, they do. Every possible chance. And they'll say, like, oh, well, inflation numbers are high, so we obviously need to raise prices because we don't have any other choice. It's inflation, guys. Hey, stupid customers. It's inflation. It's not us. What are you worried about it for? What else can we do? We just have to raise prices. Even though the company has record profits. So instead of dealing with inflation and maybe making a few pennies less per extra value meal, they're just going to raise the price. It's like the same argument that communists make about shoplifting. Oh, well, companies just whatever with shoplifting. You know, it's whatever. People shoplift, no big deal. You know, it happens, blah, 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 blah. No, the companies just raised the prices. In March, energy costs spiked 10.9%, largely fueled by a massive 21.2% jump in gasoline prices. This surge in fuel was the primary driver for nearly 3/4 of the overall monthly increase in consumer prices, according to CPI. Fuel costs rose 44.2% over the last 12 months. Gasoline, all types, increased 18.9%. Food at home went up 1.9%. Food away went up 3.8%. Interesting why that's not the same. Interesting why that's not the same rate, right? I guess you don't have labor, stuff like that. You know, you don't have the same amount of labor. And electricity rose 4.6%. Beef costs have hit records in the United States, which is putting pressure on fast food chains amid difficult operating environment. And McDonald's beef inflation has impacted the U.S. and other major markets. Again, they could make a few cents less. They could They could make a few cents less. They really could. But they're not interested in that, are they? Any excuse in the world that they could come up with to raise prices and then blame it on someone else, you know, again, the truth of it is, you're right. People just should stop eating there. Oh, yeah. Won't anybody think of the shareholders? But again, look at Subway. McDonald's rival is shrinking fast, closing 700 plus restaurants this year alone. This was published yesterday. Subway's chain is set closed a net 729 U.S. locations in 2025, which is the chain's steepest single-year decline in recent memory. Now, the total number of restaurants is fewer than 19,000, a sharp decline from more than 22,000 some years ago. That's a pretty big decline. That's like a 15 to 20% cut in total restaurants. Like, that's nuts. Even though the chain opened 500 locations during the year, closures outpaced new openings. They closed. That means they closed like 1,500. You know, the filing also shows about 800 locations were temporarily shuttered as of December 31st, 2025, as the company anticipates many of those stores will reopen. Maybe they're going through a rebrand or a refresh or something like that, you know. But people are still eating out. Fast food sales rise despite higher gas prices. Fallout from the war in Iran did not dampen quarterly results at McDonald's, Burger King, or Taco Bell. Again, it's because people who eat fast food generally, don't have any other choice. Like, people that eat fast food, they get a bad rap. People are like, it's just, you're just eating garbage, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people have like a freaking 15-minute lunch break, and that's all the time they have. You know, and so they eat McDonald's. So what? It doesn't make them a bad person. You know, it's just, people eat it out of necessity. That's why it exists. And the fact that, look, I understand McDonald's has to make money, but you can at least spare me the nonsense like, oh, well, what else could we possibly do? We have to raise prices. I mean, war in Iran, guys. Am I right? Yes, you could meal prep. We've started doing a little bit of that, like buying large amounts of beef at a time, freezing it, and then just cooking burgers. Is a burger great reheated the next day? No, but you know what? So what? It's great the first day, and it's okay the second day. And, you know, we're making our own changes too, because stuff is getting more expensive. And it's just wild that McDonald's is going to screw everyone over again, because a lot of people rely on that. And it's just unfortunate, but it is what it is, I guess. Maybe stop eating McDonald's. Let's see here. Buy a cow. Yeah, we've talked about the buying a cow thing. It's hard because, you know, it's not exactly, you have to have room for it. You have to have time to have it, you know, butchered, all this kind of stuff. So it's a thing. By the way, we will still be live at 2 p.m. Eastern, our regular time today. It's going to take a while to shift everyone to the 9 Eastern time slot. So we're going to hold, we're going to hold for now. Let's see here. Oh, we got one more story. One more story. Easier to steal a cow these days? Yeah, basically. You're still going to get chickens. I thought about it, but it was just another thing to take care of. And, you know, maybe. I talked to some people that have them, and they end up with like too many eggs. I thought he said 9. I thought he said, no, it's 9 Eastern, 8 Central, so that we can stream into Crowder Show. today we went over a little bit because there's just a lot of news, you know. Let's see. Let me change that title. All right, we'll do that. Egg brand eggs. Yeah. Jeremy, you have to give a rating for the double quarter pounder from 0 to 10 and then do the Whopper. I mean, but what? Like 0 to 10 is like the best burger I've ever had? That can't be, like, that's not reasonable. It has to be like against other other fast food chain burgers. You know? Eggs are great for dogs. Yeah, so are egg shells. I guess egg shells have a lot of good stuff in them. I think the double quarter pounder with cheese is the best burger McDonald's makes. And it's definitely way better than a Whopper. But it's not the best burger. You know? Well, George Floyd's family is big mad again. Surely there won't be riots in the streets and things burning down and more demands for money, you know, because people made jokes. Now, the other day, there was a roast of Kevin Hart, and there were some jokes made at, I guess, everybody's expense, whether it was Charlie Kirk or George Floyd, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's tough. You know, like, I didn't love the jokes about Charlie Kirk. They're allowed to make them. But St. Floyd has risen to put his hand out again. Now, remember, you can make all the jokes you want about Charlie Kirk. You can make all the jokes you want about Charlie Kirk. However, if you make a joke about George Floyd, you have to apologize. I don't know if you guys remember this. Do you remember when comedian David Lucas, a black man, made like a flippant remark at an unruly audience member about George Floyd? And then he was dog walked out to issue the standard, I'm sorry, I'll educate myself, not all jokes are created equal apology. Even a black man had to come out and apologize for a joke about George Floyd, but they can make whatever jokes they want about Charlie Kirk because, you know, reasons. Well, the George Floyd family is raging at Kevin Hart and Tony Hinchcliffe over a Netflix joke. The family of George Floyd has slammed comedians Tony Hinchcliffe and Kevin Hart over a joke told during Netflix, The Roast of Kevin Hart. The black community is so proud of you, Hinchcliffe told Hart during the roast, adding, right now, George Floyd is looking up at all of us, laughing so hard he can't breathe. Floyd's family members reacted through Travis Kane's, a spokesperson for the Gianna. I don't know what that is. Oh, the George Floyd Foundation, which I'm sure in several years, in several years we'll find out is getting audited and, and is a fraud front. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but it just seems like all these charities, they end up being, problem. His remark was sad for the culture. What is the culture exactly? They also slammed Kevin Hart for giving the comedian the green light to make a joke about Floyd, which they just didn't find funny at all. Floyd's family and friends feel that Hart should have instructed the comedian to refrain from commenting on the topic. It also reportedly noted that they are baffled and disgusted by Tony Hinchcliffe's apparent obsession with telling jokes about George Floyd. Here's the horrible joke.
You know, Kevin, they told me not to mention your kids on this roast, but I must say, you did good. They've gotten so big, they now buckle Kevin up in the car seat. It's true, he lost his gig hosting the Academy Awards because of some homophobic tweets, but you'd be homophobic too if you were eye level with everyone's cock.
Okay.
He got into a fist fight on a private plane, proof that no matter how much money black people have, they're still just gonna act like ninjas. He's fighting.
Not really.
Like Bill Cosby, Hart is a black comedian from Philadelphia, and like Bill Cosby,
Most of these jokes aren't even funny, to be honest with you.
women don't know when Kevin is inside of them. You've done good, though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe. God bless you, Kevin.
Again, look, if everyone's supposed to be okay, if it's just a joke when you make a joke about Charlie Kirk being assassinated, then this is also just a joke. It's an okay joke. To be honest with you, it's kind of cringe. Am I the only one that kind of sees it that way? I'm not saying like I'm offended by it or that it shouldn't exist or whatever, but like, can you just make a funny joke? Like, just make a funny joke. Like the whole thing, like, ha ha ha, outrage instead of, it's like when comedians play for clapter instead of laughter. You know what I mean? Tony can do way better than like, and the same thing is true about the Charlie Kirk joke from Pete Davidson. Like, aren't you a comedian? Is that the best? Can anyone tell you another joke? Can anyone else tell another, like, can anyone tell a joke? I mean, I'm sorry. Can anyone remember another joke that whatever his stupid name said during that roast other than the Charlie Kirk one? Nope. Can anyone else remember a joke from Tony Hinchcliffe other than the George Floyd one? Nope. It's like, they're like, well, I for one, never even really understood roasts. They don't make a lot of sense to me. But, you know, I'm more of like a dark humor thing. And like, I get it. Dark humor is like food. Not everyone gets it. But the idea is like, I'm not here to police whether or not it's funny. You know, people make like the dead baby jokes or the, you know, they can make whatever jokes they want. You know, I don't really care, but I just think it's worth pointing out how almost assuredly, you're going to end up seeing Tony Hinchcliffe. Well, I don't think he'll apologize. I don't think Hinchcliffe will. I can't remember if he apologized for the Puerto Rico joke or not. Remember when he called Puerto Rico a giant floating pile of garbage and everybody tried to use that against Trump? But, you know, ultimately, Puerto Rico does have a massive landfill problem. They just do. Like, that's undeniable. If he didn't apologize for that, then he's not going to apologize for this. And I don't think he should. By the way, notably, during Netflix's 2024 roast, the roast of Tom Brady, Hinchcliffe also quit that NFL foot player Rob Gronkowski looked like the final boss in the George Floyd, the video game. Floyd's family and friends told TMZ through their spokesperson that they believe Hinchcliffe is a racist comedian, adding that they wonder how Kevin Hart would feel about these jokes if one of his friends had died inside. How come they didn't say the same thing about Charlie Kirk? This is why you know it's all performative. Like, if they were really that upset about it, why didn't they then say, well, what about them making fun of Charlie Kirk, a man who was assassinated just for his political beliefs? If you're upset by the George Floyd joke, then you should be upset by the Charlie Kirk joke. That's how this works. We're trying to rebuild things for our community and make things better in our community. Let's try to be a little more positive and not sit up there doing colon inspections by white comedians. Oh, so they're only mad that a white guy said it. They're only mad that a white guy said it. Elsewhere, during Sunday's roast of Kevin Hart, Hinchcliffe joked that Hart lost his gig to hosting the Academy Awards over these tweets. You know, the fist fight, stuff like that. You go hard or you go home. He continues to shout out to every comedian that came on stage because they all understood the assignment. Relentless as Hinchcliffe always is, but funny. Hart added, you can't have emotions. You got to understand what the assignment is. Everyone came out here and did their thing. This is what Kevin Hart said.
That, my friend, is what the fucking roast is supposed to be. It's goddamn hard-hitting, relentless jokes with no consequence. It's the concept of a roast. You go hard, you go home. Shouts out to every comedian that came on that stage because they all understood the assignment, man. Shane Gillis was amazing. Fucking Chelsea Handler was amazing. Pete Davidson, amazing. Naeem Lynn, fucking amazing. Big J. Okerson, amazing.
Now, do we think that Kevin Hart will be putting out an apology video? I suspect he might. It depends. It's very interesting to me that, again, I'm not here to have a conversation about what is or what is not fair game in comedy. I would just like to point out a few things. Leftists took the life of Charlie Kirk. Leftists then mocked doing it. Leftists acknowledged that they took the life of Charlie Kirk. Leftists now joke about the assassination of Charlie Kirk to this day. Meanwhile, we have people on the right blaming his wife, his best friends, and time-traveling French paratrooper Tyler Robinson clones in maroon shirts. I mean, I don't really care for the Charlie Kirk joke, but if you want to make a Charlie Kirk joke, I'm not going to say you can't. It just is annoying that only one side ever seems to get any backlash for real. Let me know what you think. By the way, huge shout out. If you're looking for like some mushroom blend coffee, which I don't have, which is a great option. And if you haven't tried 1775 coffee, now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped only 1,000 units. You get the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee in your mother-in-law's opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler. $175 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. No, I don't think the mushrooms are hallucinogenic. I think it's just a whatever thing. So now I'm going to dip. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to be back at 2 Eastern, 1 Central. If you're new here, make sure you follow the channel. We'll be back again tomorrow at 9 Eastern. Today we'll be live again at 2 Eastern. So I hope to see you there for a totally different show, totally different topics. We'll have Melanie Mack and more. See you real soon.